there. Just kidding. I'm hoping you guys are having a great day. This is Stoned Vulcan coming at you, happy and live with the update. Just a quick follow-up to the video that I posted about the most recent update with Star Trek Fleet Command. I would like to maybe... oh, this is way too close to the wall. I feel like that's going to start a fire. So I feel like in my last video, I maybe misrepresented the spirit of Scopely in the sense that while PvE grinding did become easier and more cost effective for me, I don't know necessarily that that was Scopely's intention. I was talking to Rev about this, and I think one of the really cool things when you think about it from a non-PvE perspective is the fact that now high-level players, right, who are trying to help... God, I did it again. Right. We should put a right counter, like, down here somewhere, right? So that every time I say that word, it pops up, like, practice? We talking about practice? Full circle. The update helps lower level players who are being assisted by higher level players because now you can truly raid a base that's been defeated with an ECS Fortunate, for example, right? So, so there's a lot of opportunity for raiding to evolve with the update, and I'm curious to see where it goes. But I do still hold fast to the idea that the update has substantially leveled the playing field for players like myself who are PvE grinders. A lot of folks have been throwing things into like GC, that's Galaxy Chat, or they're throwing it into different Discord channels talking about like, how are we going to get dilithium now without, raiding? And it's like, number one, raiding will work. Okay, you just have to learn a new way of doing it. And number two, I've never gotten my dilithium from raiding ever. Like I don't go out and raid. Yes, I spend more than some, but I spend substantially less than most, I would say, in terms of like, maybe the top 25% of spenders, right? I'm not even in that category on server 20. So all of that said, I'm very excited about the update still, and I think, again, take a breath, let it just simmer for a while before you start saying that it's terrible or anything like that. Right? Whew. I'm going to do my mindful breath, and then we're going to talk about using Discord effectively to support your alliance, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and you're welcome to join me. So deep breath in and out. So Discord is and has become, I know it's something that people have been using in gaming for a very long time, but the first time that I was introduced to Discord specifically was through playing Star Trek Fleet Command. And I work for a software company that sells a product that does kind of Discord, but for businesses. It's kind of like a Facebook or a LinkedIn meets Box meets, SharePoint meets all these tools, right, that help with internal communication and collaboration within an organization. And so this is one of my biggest pet peeves is the fact that even the strongest alliances are worthless and will self-destruct if there's no effective communication happening internally. And here's a use case, right? Armadas comes out and there's no designed process within alliances for how to deal with armadas, and the fact that any stronger player can bump any weaker player, and if you're not communicating about it, the weaker players get really upset, right? It's right. Fuck. Word. Ugh. Anyways, I am like I said in that middle zone where I get bumped and I can accidentally bump, and there are easy ways of dealing with that, and that's just one specific use case. So today I'm going to walk you through my Discord channel, Quarks, and I would invite anyone who is interested in being part of Quarks to come join me. I'll give you a quick history of how it came together, but I did want to show you this. This is a shout out to all of the folks who most recently have been helping me with Quarks. This is by no means a comprehensive list of everyone who's done something. Tasha Yar was the one who actually came up with the name originally, which is a solid starting point for the story here. So as I'm talking, I'm going to actually transition over to my screen here. If I can actually have the, oh, there it is. Boom. All right, so this is Quarks. It's a public spot where anyone can come, but what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through how I set it up, and then I'll show you how to create your own server very simply and very quickly to help your alliance communicate internally. Number one, right? There needs to be some static content. And what I mean by static content is this isn't a feed that everyone's allowed to just jump into and post whatever they want and start throwing weird memes and messages and stuff. There is a time and place for that, but it's not your static content. And so you want to start at the top, right? Right? You want to start at the top and work your way down from most static to most active, and then down to most specific, right? Right? Welcome and general info is all about static content and information that I've already shared on this YouTube channel about, my purpose in life. That's this stuff down here. But here at the very top, number one, you have to keep the rules simple. Have designated places for designated things. Otherwise, the whole thing becomes chaotic and noisy, and everyone is bombarded. I know you are all part of 7 different Discord servers, and it's hard to keep up with all of them. I get it. I do. I 100% get it. That's why I want mine. And this is why it's a double-edged sword, chicken and the egg kind of thing, right? There's so many Discord servers, right? There's so many Discord servers out there with such good content happening that it's hard to say I want to be part of this one and not that one, and so on. I would advocate that each server for Star Trek Fleet Command really work towards having a shared social community that's about fun and games, right? And then maybe a second space that is more designated for political matters, arguments, debates about rules of engagement, those kinds of things. And Server 20 has somewhat organically developed that. I'll give a shout out to the Federation Council. This is run by one of my friends and has been around for a long time. But Gigatime is very active in here trying to help everyone essentially agree on what we can and can't do on our server, which, as we all know, are completely self-imposed rules, and there are people that just don't do that at all. And that's, to me, the beauty of this game is the opportunity to really create the world that you want to have, and then facilitate that for other people, hopefully. So, anyways, when you're creating your channel, start at the top with some static content so that people get an idea about what the expectations are for this channel. The other thing is rules, right? Right. Golly, Jared. So when it comes to rules, you have to be simple and you have to follow your own rules. You cannot tell people that that they're not allowed to do something and then turn around and go and do that yourself. It's just that you will lose everyone's interest and nobody will want to be part of your Discord channel. So for me, when I originally started off Quarks, this was truly about creating a community that I could just chill with, because this game to me is not like a super engaging game. I've talked about this before. I don't feel like I'm running into missions and like, oh, I gotta dodge enemies or anything. No, I'm literally clicking a button, waiting 3 minutes, and then maybe reading the dialogue, or maybe just going, all the way through every mission, sentences and stuff. So all of this is to say there's a lot of noise out there already, and Discord needs to become, if you want to run an effective alliance, Discord needs to be the center of your communication strategy, or a different tool that everyone's willing to use. There are other tools outside of Discord, but this just happens to be one that gamers tend to be drawn towards. So I'm going to show you how to create your own Discord channel and give you kind of a framework for what you could start with. I'm going to say test. Nope. Keep your icon simple. All right. Using something that is hard to see or that is confusing to other users, that's just going to get you into trouble, and it's going to make people have a hard time visually identifying you as they're looking at this left-hand nav. You can already see I've got so many channels that I'm a part of, and I need to be able to consolidate them and get where I need to go. So number one, you have to have a place that people can socialize, right? We'll leave voice channels out of this for now, but from a text channel perspective, and I'm doing this on web on my computer. You can do this on mobile, but I do not recommend it. It is way harder to get all of this done on mobile. There are certain parts of this that can only be done on mobile. For example, getting the icons next to the channel names. I can't do that right now on Discord web. I have to use my mobile device to get the icon in front of the channel. But for now, let's call this social. We'll call this. Maybe we'll just even keep it so that people can kind of identify, right? You already know what Alliance Chat is. In fact, what I would suggest instead is this. Say socialize, and then we're going to make this channel be the thing with the channels themselves is you'll notice I can't do caps or have actual spaces, but the channel topic I think is important to have, like a mission statement or a purpose statement. Like, why does this channel exist? So when I'm answering that question, this channel is for general the slow mode and stuff down here, you will know when you need to start thinking about these things. Honestly, if you're building this for your alliance, you really shouldn't need any of those types of restrictions built in. So we have our socialize spot. Now I want to, we'll call this cool. And then we're going to create a channel. We're gonna make it text. We're gonna say I'm gonna do another one that says ships events. You see what I'm getting at here, right? One of the channels that I've seen under socialize a lot is in real life. That's not specifically what anyone calls it. I know a lot of people will say IRL or whatever, but because of the fact that this is such a community-driven game, at least for a lot of us, I know within Server 20, there are a lot of people that are going through a lot of things that are really tough things, myself included at times. And having the support of a community where you can have those real talk conversations means a lot. And so having a space where people can have those outside of the game kind of IRL discussions is important, and sometimes super valuable. it kind of depends on the purpose of your alliance. Some alliances are very focused on just being dominant, and some alliances are very focused on creating a community of people who can support one another inside and outside of the game. So we've got socialize, we've got information sharing. Another thing that I see a lot of times is a check-in channel. You could put it under socialize, or you could create its own category. But basically, you could say attendance and no. This is what I do. Hope I spelled attendance right. Probably bring this up here. And actually, what I forgot to do is create a static page like I had mentioned earlier, which is ironic considering how much I emphasized it. Here, this one's going to be leadership roles. And where did leadership roles go? There it is. And then we're also going to create an announcements channel. So this is where your alliance name would go. We'll say our alliance, like this is the alliance chat area, and frankly, I would probably end up putting the leadership roles underneath here, because what I really want to do with this whole category is make it static. And so this is where I'm going to show you how you can make a channel static. First of all, out of the box, this entire thing has its own server settings holistically. So you should definitely check what the server settings are when you first get started. But out of the box, it's also pretty much like exactly where it needs to be. I don't think there's a lot of customization needed other than what I'm about to show you, which is taking this whole category. The other thing I should probably do here is actually create some roles first. At the very least, I need to have a couple of different layers of leadership roles. And these can be actual layers, like leadership 1 is, responsible for blah, 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 and leadership 2 is responsible for blah, blah, blah. These will have their own special permissions, but what I need to do right now is make sure that everything's good here. It is from a setup perspective to get started. Now, I need to give myself a role, which is leadership 1. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm going to go to edit this category. I'm going to say permissions. For everyone, what I want to do is remove the ability for them to actually communicate in. So I want them to be able to read and see the channels and all that stuff, but I don't want them to be able to send messages at all, nor manage messages, nor embed links or attach files. I want them to be able to read message history, which I don't need to check that necessarily, but I'm going to for the sake of posterity. Mention everyone, definitely. That's a hard no. Anything that has to do... add reactions is a good one to have. You do want to keep that in there. If they're not allowed to message, they probably won't add that many reactions, but it's better to have it there than not. And then everything down here should pretty much already be set to no. So I'm going to leave that as is. But I'm going to turn off Go Live and anything that I think is just slightly risky in terms of giving power. All of those were probably turned off anyways. But now, this leadership role space, it just became an entire page where you can have, again, static content that's holding still, right? Right. Static content where you're able to update it quickly and manage it without it getting lost in all of the noise of people, doing the daily communication and stuff. So, anyways, let's say player name. One really cool trick that I learned about Discord, and there's a few of these that you can do. The one that I really like is the asterisk, word, asterisk, because it'll do that bold like that, and it shows up on mobile as well. It's a clean way of helping people visually understand what's happening. Finally, the thing that I would end with is voice channels. If you can get your alliance to use voice channels, such a big advantage, because you can do so much more when you're communicating in real time in audio versus trying to literally break the whole game, go try to communicate something, and then come back. I think I have an actual cartoon on this topic that is very specific to the idea of, here it is. There's and I do also draw a little bit. And so if anyone is a creator and you want to do like a collaboration on a painting or a drawing of any sort, I'm always down for that. In fact, I was talking to a new friend that I met in, I met in the Star Trek Fleet Command official, but Scalyback is my dude. Very cool drawing little doodle that he did of me and my dog. And then he showed me a painting that's just unreal. It's like Bob Ross finally realized how to do sharp edges and use bright colors at the same time. It's pretty cool. So, let me find this. Sorry, I got distracted here. I was talking about, okay. There's that one in the top right corner there. And it's like, there's a missile. There's a missile coming in at the station. He's like, hold on 1 second, guys. He's got to finish reading my messages. That is the epitome of why it's so important to use something like Discord and Discord audio to communicate outside of the game, because this game, as fun as it is and as much as I like about it, it is not made to facilitate effective communication within your alliance. You have one channel for your alliance, one channel for the galaxy, and one channel for PMs. And that one channel for your alliance, stuff gets lost in there so much. Even if you have a spam bot like my dude Norm does for us in Tosh, right? Or could do, or has done in different alliances at least. You can have someone dedicated to just spamming AC all day, and that does help, but there's drawbacks to that as well. So anyways, I sincerely hope that this has been helpful if you're a new admiral and you're looking to get, communication up and running. This is a great way to do it. The other thing that you can use is the Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms. All of those come free, and I'm not an employee of any of them, and I don't get any money from anyone at this point. So this is just me throwing out tools that I like to use. But a lot of times I've been starting to get into the forms, Google Forms, because then I can have people submit things like resources mined, right? Or all the unimportant stats, PvE stats, the mining stats, the help sent in your alliance stats. I think a lot of people are curious to see where they stack up in those areas as well. And because Scopely only ranks based on how much you up other people, then it doesn't, everything gets lost that isn't, having to do with destroying other humans or Vulcans. So I hope that everyone has a great day. If you have questions, put them into the feed. You're also very, very, very welcomed and encouraged to join Quarks, because that is where I'm going to start hosting a lot of my streams. So if you want to join in on audio and have a conversation with me in real time while I'm doing these videos and stuff, that would mean so much to me. And all the support that I've gotten thus far is just like, oh, June. Come here. June is gonna sign off with me. Come here, puppy. No, she's not. She's not even interested. Not even in the slightest. Look at this dog. She's just chilling. Not interested at all. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will be back soon.